You all know me. You all know how I hate RWBY. But this is not what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about... Well, we are talking about RWBY. Let me rephrase that. We are going to be talking about RWBY, but this is going to be Into the Infinityverse with RWBY. Now, full disclosure, Jason, the co-writer of the Infinityverse, basically has more... he has more control over RWBY because he's more... He hasn't fallen off the series like I have. So, this is his department. It's same with Sailor Moon, where it feels more like it's his department than it is my department. So, not to say I don't do anything for RWBY, but he's got a better voice for the character, it's no skin off my bones. I actually kind of like it and prefer that he do the RWBY stuff because he has a better voice for those characters than I ever will. So, but here we're going to talk about Into the Infinityverse, the RWBY of everything RWBY, or at least the stuff we're going to reveal about reveal so far about RWBY in the Infinityverse. So, more or less, let's get with the obvious. Where in continuity does this take place? Well, in this continuity, we are not going to be following the end of the previous season. That garbage-ass ending we are not going to follow. More or less what it is that we are acknowledging that everything up to that last season happened. So, a lot of stuff did happen. Penny is still going to be alive, and we are going to explain why because more or less what happens, and we're going to go into more detail about it, is that more or less when Washu, in Dark Phoenix, Washu showed up alongside Bumblebee and Sailor Venus to get Yang and bring her to the Prime Universe, because what had happened was, I gotta do some preference, Ozpin was a part of the Illuminati alongside Rose Universe, Moon Butterfly, Optimus Prime, Ford Pines, and Washu. So Ozpin was a part of that sent the Phoenix to another universe. So she was in on this, and when the Phoenix was reaching out into the universe, Yang was among the possible candidates. So they grabbed her, brought her here because they got fed this bullshit of they got fed this bullshit of, if you don't bring her closer to the Phoenix, her mind will rip apart, and they got duped into this. So why I'm saying this is because what happens is that with Washu setting foot on Remnant, that has created a new timeline. Basically, and we're gonna the story's gonna in Dark Phoenix is gonna go a little more in depth as to that, but more or less, kind of like we're gonna do a Doc Brown thing where when Washu, Bumblebee, and Sailor Venus brought them into another universe, brought the main cast of RWBY into the main universe, they were basically that timeline is no more. So, a new timeline has been created. And we're not going to get to that previous timeline, so, RWBY ain't dead. RWBY's not dying again. RWBY lives. Hashtag RWBY lives. Hashtag Penny lives. Hashtag Penny lives. So, there you go. Now, a few things is that, like I said, we are going to be acknowledging a lot of the previous seasons, and I'm sure Jason, if he sees something he likes in the new seasons, he'll incorporate that into the story, because that's been kind of like what we've been doing for a few stories, really, is that whenever we see something cool, see something we like in a storyline, we will try to incorporate it into our universe. In fact, we kind of did that with a TMNT character from the 2003 cartoon. We were like, let's make a Infinityverse version of that character. I should really do a Ninja Turtle into the Infinityverse, now that I think about it. I have not done that. And there's a lot we take from TMNT. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, so like I was saying, in here, the main cast of RWBY is here, alongside Crow and Jean, Lee, and Nora. So they're all... and Oscar, too, because Oscar and Ozpin are in here. What also happened is that currently in the Dark Phoenix storyline, which we are getting back to. We are writing it again. It's just, this is going to be like a giant size story. It's the end of Act 1 of Dark Phoenix. So, yeah, we're kind of making it a monster-sized chapter. So that kind of takes a while, guys. That really takes a while. And we do have the other chapters after that finished already. Like I was saying, like I was trying to say, what happened recently is that Black Hat ripped Ozpin out of Oscar and cast him aside. So now Oscar is without Ozpin temporarily. So there is that. Among other things, you also have to understand that, like, now the world of Remnant is aware of the multiverse, or at least the higher ups are aware of that there is a multiverse. Like, they are fully aware that there is a multiverse. There's a multiverse now, and it's scary. Like, now there's people who are like, oh shit, there's other people, and that means other dangers that could come into our world. In fact, there already is. See, under everyone's nose, what's going on currently in Remnant is that Cinder and Neo have found a new friend. That friend, that new friend they made is none other than Transformers Prime Universe Soundwave. See, what happened in our continuity is that after the events when Soundwave was sent to, was sent into the Void, he got spat out here. He got spat out into Remnant, and now he now can reach out, and he's not going to be he might not be the only one coming to Remnant. He may not be the only Transformers Prime Universe character coming to Remnant. But as it stands, he's on his own right now. And he and Neo are now the best of friends. Like, he and Neo are going to be BFFs. Just gonna minor spoiler. They're going to be the best of friends. Anyway, what else? So, and there are other dangers. Like I said, well, I think I don't need to hide this any longer. As for other characters who are in Remnant, the Prime Universe version of the Utrom Shredder is now leading the White Fang, and Adam Taurus is in Hell. Yeah, Taurus is in Hell, and he's now a gladiator for Calypso's Blood Games in Hell. Yeah, he's also working... Adam Taurus is also working for Pinhead, as in Hellraiser Pinhead. But yeah, the new leader of the White Fang is the Utrom Shredder, Chirel. Or at least the Infinityverse version of Chirel. We brought in Chirel, made him this new version. So yeah, there's a Shredder out there, and now he leads the White Fang. As for so those are the threats that are on Remnant right now. And could there be more threats out coming to Remnant soon? Maybe. Who knows? So let's get off the villains real quick. Like, let's get off the villain stories real quick. Let's get off the villains real quick. Actually, one more thing of villains is that there is a Remnant 2. Basically, like an Earth 2. There is an evil group of Remnant out there. And those stories are all complete. Like, we have a version of RWBY who's kind of more like Carnage. Weiss, who is completely evil, and what happened in her Spotlight story in Infinityverse Max is really fucked up. I don't want to spoil it, but I was like, Jason, you really are fucked up, man. This is awesome. Blake is the leader of the White Fang in a very Magneto kind of way, and Yang is a drunken brute in that version, in that universe. In Remnant 2. So, yeah. And they are going to be working closely with the Crime Syndicate. As for... So let's... I'm not going to spoil further on that, but, like, There you go on villains. Let's move on to some fun stuff. So, in here, we are having Blake and Yang together. You know, we're not going to dance around it. We're just like, yeah, they're together. There you go. As for RWBY, RWBY's interesting because Jason and I had this have your cake and eat it too kind of moment. Because RWBY is going to have two different lovers simultaneously. Meaning that RWBY, the Earth 2 RWBY, is dating the Earth 2 Weiss. Whereas RWBY in our universe is going to be having her own lover as well. While it's not Weiss, you can probably piece together. Jason and I have been leaving clues of basically like who is going to be RWBY's lover in the story, in the universe. But if you put the pieces together in Dark Phoenix, especially the later chapters, you might figure it out. Just saying. You know, you might figure it out. Although I don't think we had, like, Jason didn't say he had anyone planned for Weiss. So, like, if there's anyone who's someone special for Weiss, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, there is, like, going to be more connection between Remnant and Earth. But keep in mind, it's not going to be like Remnant and Earth are like, oh, we're going to bounce from Remnant to Earth. There is, like, obviously, like we've talked about in the Infinityverse multiverse videos, is that there's kind of like a limit you can bounce from universe to universe, even if you could. Like, you kind of, like, there's rules there. Like, if you keep doing it, you're going to break the damn multiverse. That's the thing, is that if you keep doing it so many times, you're going to break something. So, you can't, so, obviously, it's not like we can go to Remnant, just hop, skip, and a jump. Or, likewise, people from Remnant can't go to Earth on a hop, skip, and a jump. Basically, they just, the characters are going to meet each other a lot, but they aren't going to meet, like, every single story. There is, like, going to be stories set on Remnant, and there's going to be stories set on Earth, and sometimes the characters will intersect outside of Dark Phoenix and other events. So, just to clarify. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is pretty much all I can say about RWBY right now, but you guys tell me in the comments below. What did you guys think of this? Comment below, let me know, and as always, if you haven't already, hit the link below to my Patreon. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.